Are you ready to build a firm that gives you freedom, confidence, and consistent revenue without burnout or undercharging? Welcome to the Abundant Accountant Podcast, the show for accounting, tax, bookkeeping, and fractional CFO firm owners. If you've ever felt stuck discounting your fees, chasing clients, or giving away too much advice for free, you're in the right place. Here at the Abundant Accountant Podcast, we talk about how to have sales mastery, how to charge premium pricing, how to have boundaries that stick so you're in full control with your clients, and how to convert high-value leads into high-paying clients with confidence and ease. Each episode, you're going to hear real success stories, you'll learn sales strategies, and you're going to hear from guest experts who will help you learn how to work a lot less, earn more, and finally create the firm and life that you deserve. Welcome to the Abundant Accountant Podcast. Today, we have a very special guest. Our special guest is a client here at the Abundant Accountant, and he's also an EA and a certified financial planner with over 30 years of experience in tax planning and financial strategy. And he used to be a former pharmacist, and he founded ATI Professional Services to provide proactive, objective financial guidance for individuals and small business owners. So he has definitely a unique blend of technical expertise and business insight, and he helps clients navigate those complex tax rules and protect their long-term wealth. And he guides them to clarity, improved cash flow, and confidence in their financial making decisions. But before we welcome our special client to the show, if you are a firm owner, you own an accounting, tax, or bookkeeping firm owner, and you crumble at the thought of your upcoming next sales call, or you're constantly worried that you're going to go blank or come across pushy in a sales meeting, I have a system for you. As a firm owner, I will show you how to never be ghosted again. Have clients practically chase you down because they want to pay you and they want you to work with them. And here at the Abundant Accountant, we show you a simple step-by-step process so you never have to wing it. You always have a step-by-step formula for commanding your true value so you can earn what you're worth and as much as double your revenue and always get paid up front and never have AR. So if that sounds something that you would like to explore, head on over to theabundantcall.com and we will take a look at how you can control every sales conversation, close high-quality, high-paying clients, and establish yourself as a premium without losing a single client. You will finally be able to stop trading hours for dollars and start growing the firm on your terms. So head on over to theabundantcall.com to schedule your call to stop procrastinating your potential. And now let's welcome Tony to the show. Welcome, Tony, to the show.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here and being able to contribute to your other fellow firm owners. This is such a special day because we have the amazing Tony. And Tony, you can share where you're at in the country and where your firm is in the country. And what does your firm specialize in for the other firm owners that are going to be having their pen and paper taking notes after what you have to share today?
Okay, thank you. I am in Orlando, Florida. I've been doing this probably about 30 years. Our firm today focuses on compliance and comprehensive planning for both tax and financial planning. We work with successful individuals and small business owners who often feel that they're overwhelmed by the complexity of their financial lives.
Awesome. I love that. Today's very special because Tony is a client of ours here at the Abundant Accountant. So we're doing like a case study podcast today. And I want to open it up, Tony, because on July 3rd, you sent me this email about where your gross receipts are, or were, I should say, through June, which was your total revenue, and all the AR that I made you collect, you said. You said I made you. And how all of this just changed in a 12-month period. I'd love it if you could just start out by sharing the biggest shifts that you've seen from the number side, because they visually can't see what I see right here. But I think that would just be a great way to start our conversation today, because I think you truly are an inspiration. You've had your firm for a while. I'm sure when you met us, you thought that we were a little out of our minds at what was possible.
Oh,
But I
yes.
think, what? Yeah?
I said, oh, yes.
Okay, great. So I was accurate with that. But I mean, you've cut down your workload dramatically. You've increased revenue. You've collected money that you thought no one would ever pay you. I think you've went from feeling, you could tell me how you felt before and how you feel now, but share with us a little bit, just kind of top level, and then we're going to get down into the nitty gritty, because this email that I got on July 3rd, I was like, heck yeah.
It works. No, so top level, sum it all up, summarize it all up. A year into our relationship, you've basically empowered me to change the way I think. We've changed the scope and the direction of the firm. We've cut over 300 clients and didn't hurt revenue. I'm still able to eat same way I did last year.
Wow. And when you say you cut 300 clients and, we empowered you a new way of thinking and you're still eating the same way, how much did the revenue increase and how much did your time decrease?
Actually, right now, my revenue stayed the same. If we look, through last week when I sent you that email, my time, I'm working less. Changing gears a little bit, investing a little bit more time and revenue to building out the firm in a different direction.
Right.
But overall, stress level and just the environment in the office with my staff and my team has just changed tremendously.
Mm-hmm. And what way did it change tremendously?
Everybody's more relaxed. Everybody is back to enjoying as much as you can coming to work.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the overall, good feeling.
Yeah. And total AR collected? Because that's a pretty
Oh,
big
since
number
you
too.
made me, it was what, 40-ish, around 40,000 by
Yeah.
the end of the year.
So when you first told me, why don't we start with this? Why don't you take us back before we met? Rewind,
Okay.
hit the rewind button. What was it
Okay.
like day to day in the office? Clearly, it's going to be the opposite of stress levels down and relaxed. So whatever that means in Tony speak. And like AR was that 40,000. And then you talked to us and we're like, oh yeah, you're going to collect all that. That's all going to go in your bank account. Tell us like what your thoughts were and, just that initial landscape of where things were at before you're here where you're at today.
Okay. Yeah. So prior to us, now we just celebrated our 1 year anniversary. Happy
Mm-hmm.
anniversary, Michelle.
Oh, happy anniversary. Yeah.
I met you just before I got to you. I was, with my practice, I was in a building phase. I was trying to, build, quantity versus quality. I had purchased another firm. I had gone to a couple of revenue sharing agreements with other retiring practitioners. It was really, really growing, and it got to the point. Not this past season, the season before we met, it was probably the worst tax season I ever had.
What does that
Overworked.
mean? What is that? Oh, okay.
Was that okay? Overworked, underpaid. Just the stress. It got to the point prior to you and I meeting. My family had an intervention with me. They basically sat me down and they're like, this has got to stop. What are you doing? I was partaking in adult beverages more than somebody should. Not sleeping. I'm starting to have medical, symptoms and conditions, and so it was like I had this intervention, then flew out and met you and Denise at the convention, the conference.
Uh-huh.
And so, talking to other colleagues that knew you, I knew of your firm, but we've never worked together.
Mm-hmm.
So at the point, I've got to make a change, and so we met, we went through, I signed up, and a year later, it's all good.
Awesome. Yeah. And so, we're at our 1 year anniversary of working together. What does your family say about these changes?
Oh, they say thank you. They like the changes. They see the changes.
Mm-hmm.
I think my daughter had commented at one point, during tax season, we've never seen you home this early. So it's all little
Oh,
things that matter.
I bet that was touching. Like, oh wow, right? Like you didn't need anything else for the day. That was your adult beverage. Like, oh, my daughter appreciates me. Yeah. And, I know you had purchased the firms, and you had your revenue share, and, growing the revenue wasn't the thing, but increasing your fees so you got paid what you were worth instead of feeling underpaid and overworked and tired. And you made all these shifts over the last year. What do you feel was the breaking point where you knew something had to change and I knew I needed help? I just didn't know how to fix it. Like, what was that breaking point for you and the firm? Was it the family intervention or was it something else?
It was the intervention. I mean, the fact that
Oh,
somebody
okay.
sits you down and slaps you in the face and just basically says, "Hey, something's got to change," and then you start to realize, because I was not happy. I mean,
Mm.
all these years, like many business owners, we have thoughts, and my thought was, okay, grow, and like I said before, it was quantity, not quality. So I thought it was get as many clients as you can get in the door, do as many returns as you can make or do, and then you'll make as much money and be happy. And it was just the opposite.
No, it is the opposite. Why do you think firm owners think that way, Tony? Because I hear this all the time, right? Like I say, what's the biggest challenge with your sales in your firm, right? On our application. Do you want to know, like 90% of the time it says, I need more clients. I need more people. I need more of this. I need more of that. And it's like, actually, most 90% of them don't need more clients, right? We need to increase our fees and we need to not, like how you were sharing earlier, get our stress levels down and make sure that we're paid the right way and our revenue increases with the less amount of clients like you experienced, right? You cut over 300 clients, but your revenue stayed the same and you're working less because that is the way to do it. That's the way to not be overworked and underpaid. And then it's like, if you just put more quantity on top of that formula, that's a recipe for an intervention. Right? Why is it that so many firm owners think that? Because I know you're in a lot of different groups. You're part of the NEAA and other things. Why is it that people feel that quantity is the most important thing versus now that you see it's the quality?
I think it's the fear when we first started our practices. Of course, we started ground zero, and every dollar in the door, matters. And I
Mm-hmm.
think we're afraid that let me, although I think I'm worth $1, let me just give this away for 50 cents because 50 cents is better than nothing. But in the end, that
Mm.
just kills you in the long run. And I think a lot of times we're just afraid to charge what we know we should charge because we're
Mm-hmm.
afraid that next dollar won't come in.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think that's totally true. I think it's like, well, I got bills to pay. I don't want to go get a job, so I might as well just take the 50 cents, even though I know I deserve the dollar. And then it
Right. But
just
once you take it, you
compounds.
sell yourself, yes, because then you can't get out of it. You can't charge that dollar next time because
Yep.
you're afraid to again. It just continues.
Well, until you meet me. But yeah. Mhm.
Correct. Yes. But look how long it took me to meet you.
I know. How many years was that? How many years did that
Been
50
doing this about
cents,
30 years. I
30
know.
years? So, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, you were, I'm not going to even say the word here, but you were selling yourself short for a really long time.
Very long.
Yeah. Okay. So, when you first heard about the 8-week sales mastery course, or Michelle and Denise, like, what were you thinking? Like, what were you most skeptical about?
Well, I heard first before I sat with you guys, through other colleagues, and they're like,
Okay.
just do it. You need to do it. And of course, just kind of blind faith. The first, and you can
But
ask Denise. I mean,
that doesn't give you any context though. No, other firm owners have told me that. They're like, "Yeah, I talk to people and they say just do it." And it's like, "Well, what does that mean to another firm owner?" Right? They
well,
don't
it's
understand what
if
that means.
right. I mean, initially it's like, okay, does it really work? I mean, and they're boasting of the success, but you're still skeptical. I sat with Denise. He probably went back and forth to the booth 3, 4 times in that first day, just asking questions and um, just wondering about it. And then eventually said, I had a conversation with my wife, went outside and called her, and she's like, just do it. What are you waiting for? Just do it.
I didn't know that you had the conversation with the wife outside. Got it.
Yes.
Okay. So the wife had the intervention and you were telling about, okay, this is how I'm going to change. And did she have any skepticisms or, hesitations for you to do a class like this to help you
No, not at all,
overcome?
because you're seeking the help of a professional. If I did
Mm-hmm.
my due diligence and vetted you, then why not?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Awesome. And I'm just curious because you had your firm for 30 years. Obviously, you were acquiring firms and buying the practices and doing joint ventures on revenue share deals. What other things did you try to go away from being overworked and underpaid, but just nothing maybe worked? Like, what other coaches, programs, things did you try for your firm? But like you said, you weren't happy. You were trying to go after quantity, not quality. I'm just curious, what did you try, but it just didn't work out for you? And you're like,
Well,
okay, this isn't
like
working.
many of us, because we know so much about everything, we try and be everything. So,
Yep.
to do it yourself, before the internet, you're finding books and journals. After the internet, trying to find programs, and even I had subscribed to other sales processes coaches in the past, and just never really got something that worked.
Really? Okay, we need to dive deeper into the other sales coaches and other programs that you tried as it related to sales. What do you feel was so different with the other sales coaches or sales trainings that you've had? And what was different about this program versus those programs or coaches?
I think you and Denise, compared to what I've done in the past, provide more sincerity and a personal touch. I've said it before. You guys take the sleaze out of sales. It's not, sales sometimes could be a dirty word.
Yeah.
But you guys present it and have a process on how to price, how to sell, how to confidently communicate.
Mhm.
And that is the biggest difference.
And what about as far as the deliverables inside the course versus those coaches or sales trainers that you worked with? If you go back to the 8-week sales mastery course and thinking about those 8 weeks and, you're like, ugh, here comes another sales training, even though all these other colleagues are telling me to do it. It's like, I've already done 1 or 2 and it hasn't worked. How would you say this was unique and different in comparison to working with the other coaches or just even in other programs that you've seen out there?
Yeah, I think in the end, the pieces that go along with each week, each part of the program delivers a different component that build. It's like building blocks. And, week
Mm-hmm.
1, is built on week 2. It just keeps building, and then there's tools inside each block that I still use today. And so, it just, I remember, I think it was after like the second, maybe the third class, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
finally, it all comes together. This is why we're doing this. This is why she's making
Mm-hmm.
me look at that little chart and
Mm-hmm.
speak like this and think like this. It all
Mm.
starts to piece itself together.
Ah, got it. Okay. No, I love that. And were there any fears that came up for you when you were saying, oh, am I going to make another investment of money or time? Yeah, I know your wife told you to do this, but you
Always got to
already
listen to
had,
your wife, right?
you always have to listen to your wife. Yeah. Happy wife, better life, right? I think that's
Yeah,
how it
yes,
goes.
ma'am. Yep.
But any fears that came up for you, around the investment, the commitment of time in comparison to the other coaching programs that you had done in the past? Like what ultimately pushed you besides your wife and the intervention? What ultimately pushed you to really say, you know what, I'm just going to commit. I'm going to go all in. I'm going to pretend I didn't learn anything else and erase the past. Because I think a lot of people have spent 10, 20, $30,000 on other programs and coaches and, like you said, journals and books and just other things to try to get whatever the problem is in the firm solved. And a lot of times they hear, oh, I didn't get my money's worth. Oh, it was, you hear, oh, it's a scam or, oh, it's whatever. Like, how is this, or what do you see from your point of view on that?
Yeah, so I wasn't concerned about the investment. First of all, your investment is less than, like you just said, than I paid in other investments, other opportunities to learn sales. I knew something had to change. I think if I had a fear with the whole process, my fear was the commitment. How much time is this really going to take? But I had to jump in and do it because, if this is the program, it's like going to the doctor. This is a prescription, and you don't follow the therapy, you're not gonna you're not gonna
Hmm.
get better. So I
Yeah.
realized there was a problem. So I took my medicine, and
Hmm.
faithfully took it for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I didn't, I can't say that the program didn't work.
Right. Yeah. And you also invested like an hour a day of your time to get the work done, to do everything, and that was the significant thing. And I think a lot of people, the commitment is high. What would you say to another busy firm owner that's like, well, our commitment, by the way, is an hour a day. I don't know how I'm going to carve out an hour a day. I already work 12, 14-hour days. I already don't sleep at night, right? They're also drinking a lot of adult beverages. What would you say to that firm owner now that you've gone through it yourself, Tony?
You need to just suck it up and make the change, make the
Hmm.
time. I mean, I always tell this when we talk about with people trying to make time for friends and do things that are fun,
Yeah.
and we always have the excuse that, oh, there's no time, I'm not going to be able to do it. But,
Hmm.
it always seems when something bad happens, somebody passes
Hmm.
away, gets sick, you always seem to find the time. So why can't we
Hmm.
find the time and invest in ourselves? Give me that 1 hour.
Right. Yeah. You always find time to go to the hospital if somebody's sick. Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. Was there anything that you found during your 8 weeks that helped you stay focused to go all in, even when things got a little bit hard? Because I mean, you were very committed.
It's what helps stay focused is you and Denise, the
Mm-hmm.
accountability. The fact that that we're meeting on a regular basis. You're available if I needed to beyond those meetings.
Mm-hmm.
Just that accountability, made it for me.
Mm-hmm. What do you feel for you, Tony's like was the biggest mindset shift that you had in the course and, order to stop making decisions from fear? Because I feel like your decision making process is so different now. And you really think like the CEO of your firm.
Yeah, I think just that the biggest thing is, like I said, by listening, by following, it just helped me build the confidence just in my mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to say no. It's okay. I think the
Mm.
first time I gave somebody, talked to somebody about working together, and it was more than they had in their budget. In the past, I would
Mm-hmm.
scramble and, oh, okay, well, let's we can do it for this, we can do it for that, and
Oh God.
saying no was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I didn't feel bad about it. I actually felt good.
Yeah, right? It's so amazing how that shifts, but like you said, you were able to gain that confidence and you were able to, like you said, you just started listening and following and built that confidence over time. I wanted to ask you, like, was there anything going through the program or even making some of these hard no's to clients? Are there any that you're most proud of or any stories that you want to share of telling somebody no? Or, I mean, you collected $40,000 of AR. That's outstanding. Maybe you could share with us a little bit about those experiences because I think at one point you probably didn't think any of that money was going to go into your bank account. And you thought we were a little crazy when we said, no, you'll collect it all. You just got to do it a certain way. Share with me some of those, harder decisions that you had to make during the program or scenarios that you had with clients and then your AR.
Yeah, the hardest part of the program, I joke around and say this with you guys, is you made me think, you made me act, and you made me do things, in ways that I was not comfortable doing, and didn't want to. I mean, when we would have our weekly calls, you would I almost remember like in grade school, you put your head down and oh, don't call me, don't have the
Yeah,
teacher calling
yeah.
me.
Yep.
Let's not role play. And then when
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about the collecting the AR, you made me not only go out and ask for my money, which is mine,
Yeah.
but you made me report back to you. On a weekly
Mm-hmm.
basis. Okay, give me and Denise an update. Where are you? So just doing that, helped the success. I was uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie to you, it was uncomfortable, but I didn't want to come back empty-handed to you either and let you guys down.
Mm-hmm.
That's the accountability part.
Right. Well, because you didn't want to let us down, I actually helped you out financially.
I think so, just a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. So that was probably the hardest part. Is there anything around collecting the AR, or did you think like that's never going to work for me. Like Michelle and Denise are really out of their minds. Or was there any other fears around that? Or did you just say, yeah, okay, let's do it. I'm open.
No, I mean, once again, all of it, like I said in the beginning, is uh, attitudes and behavior that is outside my norm. Was outside my norm, and
Mm.
so anything you said to do, the initial
Mhm.
response was inside of me was pushback. Oh, that's not going to work, or they're whack. That's crazy.
It was.
But
Okay.
yeah, but it's
Okay.
like, okay, I made the investment, I'm making the commitment, I'm going to try. Like I said before, if I don't do what you're telling me, I can't blame you if I fail.
Yep. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay. So your stress levels are down. Everyone at work likes to come to work now. You're working fewer hours. You are down 300 clients. Uh, your daughter said she's seeing you more. She's seen you more this last tax season. How else has this made an impact in your personal life, your relationships? I'd love it if you could share really what's different now.
So what's different, like I said, just once again, beyond my mindset, trying to not trying, doing, actually spending more time, with Kathy, my wife, traveling and doing things with the kids. The nest is empty, so we're still, making more time to go see the kids as they, build their lives.
Right. Where have you guys traveled to that you had put on the back burner for quite a while? Like, what's that? What are the few things that you did that were in the past a year ago you would have never thought were even possible trips to go on?
Trips to Europe. We've gone to Europe now twice since I've met you.
Wow. I thought it was
And
only
so
once. Oh, you went to Italy, right?
Italy and then Barcelona.
Nice. Two of my favorite places.
Had to get the gelato like you had recommended.
Yep. Venchi's.
Yes,
Benchi's
that's it.
gelato. Oh, it's amazing in the Rome airport too. And they
Yep.
even brought one of those to San Diego. So it's
Oh,
dangerous.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
look
can't
out.
go. It's really dangerous. Okay, so you've been traveling more and your mindset shift. Anything else for you that you feel significant that has
The,
really
the, the
impacted?
biggest thing, the relief is, you guys enabled me to identify and set my boundaries to
Mm-hmm.
where, it's, okay, it's no more work. Cut that off. Stop looking at that email or answering
Mm-hmm.
this or doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Establishing boundaries is a huge one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And with those newfound boundaries, how do you feel about your future now that you have your custom sales process in place? You've got clarity, you've got confidence. You,
Oh,
you
it's
know,
it's, it's very bright. It's worth getting out of bed now. For
mm,
don't dredge. Oh, I got to go do this again, or I got to answer this
mm-hmm.
phone call, or go see this or do that.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
That's a lot there.
I know. I'm just like, spell it out, because I know, Tony, there's probably someone listening right now who feels exactly how you felt a year ago. Overwhelmed, overworked, frustrated, not wanting to get out of bed, not going on any trips, definitely not going to Barcelona and Italy, and wondering, well, I've heard Michelle, I've heard her podcast, I've watched testimonials, but would this work for them? And, for those who are scared to invest in themselves, or maybe they just don't think they have the time, like what would be your advice other than just do it to them? If you were talking to yourself a year ago and you just acquired firms and, you heard this little birdie tell you about this thing called the 8-week sales mastery course, or these two nuts over at the Abundant Accountant that are like little drill sergeants.
They are.
Yeah, what would you say to that firm owner a year ago?
Well, first, ask what's the cost of not doing it. If you continue down this path that you're going, what's going to happen? What's it going to cost you? Whether it's money, whether it's health, aggravation, liabilities. We don't talk about that, but there's an element of malpractice by being overworked and undernourished, underslept. So first look and see that, and then when you do realize that you do have a problem, we do need to make the change. Make the change. Believe in yourself and believe in the system. It does work.
I never thought about that. That's an element of malpractice right there. when a firm owner is underpaid and overworked. I mean, but you did that to yourself for 30 years.
Right.
Is there
Right.
anything
It's crazy.
it is crazy. I mean, obviously there's nothing we can do about the past, but what's that one lesson that you think every firm owner should know based on that lesson of being you putting yourself through malpractice for the last 30 years?
Well, the issue, we pride ourselves in trying to take the best care of our clients, but yet we don't look at it that way by not providing the best service or care to our clients because we're stretched too thin, and so you need to look at it from that perspective.
No, it's so true. And it's like you got to put yourself first before you can take care of others, right? So, Tony, I'm curious, what's freedom look like to you now? And what are you most excited about moving forward with the firm?
Moving forward, what am I excited about? I think we're going to continue to make cuts and start working on the quality, getting the better clients. And what I mean by better, it's not about the money, but it's also about working with clients that value you and appreciate you. If you're calling, and the first questions out of your mouth is price, we're not a fit. And so I'm just excited that I'm able to even have this conversation, talk like that, versus before, like I said, well, we could probably do that for this.
Yeah, it's so true. Because like I personally been dealing with my expensive fixer upper and I have to get a new roof. And actually, as I'm saying this, it's happening. But like, I didn't ask them how much is it going to cost. I just like waited till the last minute. I didn't care. I cared about the person that was going to come check on the job 3 times a day while it was going down. What new things, we saw like a live termite running around today and like, okay, that guy was Johnny on the spot too. And it's like you said, you just want those better quality clients that they don't care about that. They care about, is Tony going to, pick up the phone when I call them or show up to our appointment on time, right? They value him, they value you and they appreciate you, but you also value them so much and appreciate them so much that you go above and beyond for those types of people.
Right. And you feel good about it.
Yeah. And you feel good. Exactly. Yeah. Actually, the roof guy actually said that to me today. He goes, you know what, Michelle? Because I'm going to go and try to get some refund because let's just say all my leaks and all the painting I've had to do and drywall and all that, it's because the stuff on the top was done so incorrectly. And he's like, you know what, Michelle, I can sleep well at night every night because I know we do such good work and we guarantee our work because I don't want to come back here. And I was like, yeah, how beautiful is that? Like people that just really care and really want to do good work because they want to sleep peacefully at night. And he said that to me today. And I was like, yeah, that's the exact reason you guys are doing this job because of that. I didn't care if it was 20 grand, 30 grand or 40 grand. To me, it's all the same.
Right.
Because
Fix it, do it right the first time and we're done.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yep. All right. What does freedom look like to you now? That was what you were most excited about. Now, what's freedom like for you?
Freedom is just being able to do some of these things, this traveling, and spending time with the kids and not really worrying about it. And in the past, you come up with excuses and, I got to do this. I'm chained here. No, I mean, you and I have been gone in different directions the last 3 weeks, three different conferences.
Yeah.
But the ship is still afloat. Everything is still going, and so that's no longer chained to the bricks and mortar as it used to be.
Right. No, I love that. Well, Tony, you are so inspiring to not only myself but other firm owners who I know are listening and have enjoyed hearing your journey and watching the steps that you have created for yourself, this new version of this confidence and saying no and just the firm owner and the CEO that you are. And I know that you're giving a lot of hope to other firm owners that are listening right now. Is there anything else you'd love to share that maybe we didn't talk about today that you want to end with before we say our goodbyes?
No, the only thing I would just, tell my colleagues and firm owners out there, you're just, as we said before, just do it. You're going to be uncomfortable. Like I said before, you're going to be asked to think and act and do things totally different than we're used to. But have faith, have trust in the process, in the system, because it will work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love how you've said it twice now. You're going to think, act,
But it's
and
true,
do
right?
things in a new way. No, it is true. Yeah, it's all true.
How many times
And
did you tell me, you get, stop saying that, yada, yada, yada. So it's true.
yeah, but your new pathways, your new neural pathways have shifted because you just talk like this all the time. I'm like, yeah, Tony, look at you. This is awesome. So, well, thank you so much for being here with us today on the Abundant Accountant Podcast, Tony. It's been an honor, and I can't wait to get my next annual update next July.
And will do. Thank you so much, Michelle, for everything you've done.
Oh, of course, anytime. What an amazing episode with our client, Tony. Just such an inspiration for many, especially those of you who've had firms for a very long time, 30 years, and feel like you're just stuck on a hamster wheel and nothing will change. But change is possible, even if you have acquired firms, you're just starting out and you don't want to make the same mistakes Tony did. Or if you've had your business for a really long time and you fear that if you make any change, all your clients are going to leave you. So if you've ever had a sales meeting with a current client and you are terrified to increase fees substantially, or maybe you felt yourself caving in when it came to saying your price, or you were like Tony and would negotiate, you are not alone. Most firm owners that I have worked with have incredible technical skills, but you have zero structure around your sales process, your boundaries, and your pricing. And it is costing you thousands of dollars every single month. Here at The Abundant Accountant, I show you how to shift from giving away your time to commanding your value without feeling sleazy or aggressive, so that you know the exact words to say and you'll never freeze up ever again. Go to theabundantcall.com and book your free strategy call right now with me and my team, and let's turn those conversations into conversions. Once again, theabundantcall.com. Thank you so much for joining Tony and I today, and have a beautiful day, and we'll see you in the next episode.